When do I start?
Sheriff! You'll never guess what's happened. Something big.
Well, what is it?
Biggest thing ever happened in Mayberry. Real big. Big. Big, big.
Welcome to Mayberry Man Season 2. I'm Mayberry Man producer Court Howell. Several years ago, my brother Stark Howell attended Mayberry Days, the world's largest festival celebrating the Andy Griffith Show, because our father, Hoke Howell, played a character on the show.
Oh, I'll show him a couple of things I learned in the Army and guerrilla warfare. First, you take your hair and you yank it around, and then you take your head and yank it.
Meeting so many wonderful Mayberry fans inspired Stark to write a movie called Mayberry Man.
It's real!
Mayberry Man was a big hit. It played in theaters. It continues to stream today on Amazon Prime and Tubi. It's on airplanes, and it's even gone international. Next, we spun Mayberry Man off into a TV series, partnering with the fans on Indiegogo.
Hey, this is good work.
We've been blessed to have the support of many family members of the original stars. Andy's daughter, Dixie Griffith, is an executive producer. And Karen Knotts, daughter of Don Knotts, appears in both the movie and the series as a regular character.
I am so excited to be part of this. It's wonderful. It's like just my dad's legacy, and now I can even be a part of that too. It's amazing.
Now it's time for Season 2. Once again, we're saying no to Hollywood money and partnering with you, the fans, to stay true to the wholesome family values of The Andy Griffith Show. Of course, we have lots of amazing experiences and rewards available when you back the project. You can get your name in the credits, be a background extra, attend a red carpet premiere, have a speaking role in the show.
Those low-down, dirty buzzards.
You like money?
May I have a half a dozen, please?
If you're Santa Claus, why are you so skinny?
Haven't you kids seen the size of chimneys these days?
That's a good one.
Be a producer or have your business featured in a scene as a product placement sponsor. And no matter what reward you choose, you'll have behind-the-scenes access as we make a wonderful series that pays tribute to the television classic we all love, The Andy Griffith Show.
Oh, Mayberry Man. Oh, that's a big one in there. Yeah, that's good. Hey, everybody. I'm Alan Newsom. I was on Mayberry Man the movie and Mayberry Man the series, and I'm so excited to have this possibility of doing more. Join with us and become a part of Mayberry lore. Let's make it happen, guys.
Mayberry Man is like a dream come true for Mayberry fans like me.
You need to do it. It is so much fun, and it is a great thing to get involved in.
As a fan, it's probably one of the most exciting things that could ever happen.
Let's get this thing made. This can be really good, and it's going to need a group effort.
So I guarantee this. If you love the Andy Griffith Show, you're going to love Mayberry Man.
Please join me in supporting this wonderful adventure and journey into more Mayberry. More Mayberry for everybody.
Hey folks, it's Court and Alan with you live again after a week off. Thanks for joining me, Alan.
It's great to be here as always.
Yeah, so last week I was on the road and we didn't have a whole lot new to talk about, so I figured, we'll skip a week. And then, of course, tonight, the eve of Thanksgiving, I'm not sure how many people are going to be around to watch, but wanted to touch base. And so good news is as far as the Season 2 crowdfunding goes is that's been going strong. We're kind of been getting things wrapped up on Indiegogo, and I do want to touch on that a little bit. But we did announce a deadline now before we extended the crowdfunding because so many people had problems on Indiegogo. And so now we do have a little bit of a deadline of December 7th. So we have a stretch goal to reach $200,000. We're at about, I'll get into where we're at, but we did 187,000 on Indiegogo, and which is fantastic, amazing, really. And but we're trying to get to 200. And if you go to our website, Indiegogo is closed, but you can go to supportmayberryman.com and you can, still participate at supportmayberryman.com. So it's going to be real. Alan, are you excited about season 2?
I am, and I think it's great. They've still got everybody still has a little bit of a chance to join in with what we're doing. Hey, it makes a great Christmas present. Maybe you can give somebody a Christmas present to be a name in the series titles or in the closing credits, or hey, maybe they even could get an extra role or something you could do. I don't know what's available still, but go and look over at supportmayberryman.com and see if there's something you want to give somebody. That'd be a great gift.
Well, maybe I keep talking. Maybe I can bring up the,
yeah. Well, yeah, I just think I think that's a great thing. And I really do think it's great for you guys. If you haven't had an opportunity to do it, now that it's really going to be happening, we've got the funds raised. This gives you a really good opportunity to make sure you don't miss out on getting the DVDs and some of the other items that you can get here as part of the Support Mayberry Man effort to reach our stretch goal.
Yeah, so I don't want to belabor the infomercial here, but because we are coming to a hard deadline now, so we extended it because people had problems. We created our own website because people had problems. This is much simpler for you to go and claim a reward and make your contribution, but we do have to finalize the scripts. I mean, there's still work to do on the scripts, but we kind of need to know who wants to be in this, either as a featured extra, a speaking role. We're probably going to cut off the extras. We might open it back up a little later, but we just kind of need to know who we're working with at this point. So we can really get into pre-production and do that properly, because it's too hard to be juggling and people coming in late and all that stuff. So, but on this website, supportmayberryman.com, you can scroll down and we've got most of the rewards still active. And the ones that are ending soon, it's noted ending 12/7/25. And it was going to be November 30th, Alan, but then I realized I booked myself onto a TV show in Indianapolis on December 1st.
Okay.
So I'm like, well, I need to leave an extra week so that if we need interest from my television appearance on live television in Indianapolis, big time.
That's right.
I figured I better have this still up. But anyway, so pretty much everything's still there. There's a few things that are not, but most everything's there, and you can still get a cast and crew t-shirt, or you can just contribute. If you just want to donate and help us out, we got the Tribute Artist Fund, I call it, and that helps us out with travel and lodging for our tribute artists. So there you go. That's
good. I really, and I appreciate, the tribute artist, for those that don't know, the tribute artists that appear at many of the Mayberry's events, there's no money in that. We're not making a lot of money doing that. So they're coming on their own dime and paying. A lot of times they do get a hotel or something at some events, but yeah, this is, that's definitely, we appreciate that the producer is thinking about us, all the tribute artists.
Well, I mean, if it's, we try to include everything in the budget, but we also like to have that little stash of extra money that's earmarked for that purpose. So otherwise it'll just get spent on something else like lights or cameras or through.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, nothing important.
Nothing important.
But I wanted to get into some content, and then we'll come back and I have a few more updates about the whole season 2 thing. Everyone watching may not be into that. So I have more of my interview with Dennis Rush.
Great interview.
Not familiar with Dennis Rush. Well, the video tells you who he is. So you want to take a look at this video, Alan?
Definitely. This is something you guys are going to enjoy this. Dennis is awesome. So great job on the interviews too.
Thanks. And we've shared clips a couple of times on other lives. This one is, I believe, all new section of the interview. It's a long interview, and the full video is on our channel, but this is just some highlights of it. So let's take a look. Let me make sure this is going to play, and I think it will. And let me get rid of this banner. And here we go.
He's one of Opie's pals. He's Dennis Rush, who played Howie Pruitt on The Andy Griffith Show.
Oh, hi.
Miss B, Sheriff, this is my son, Howie.
Oh, we know Howie. How's the bike business, Howie?
But his fame goes way beyond Mayberry.
You haven't told me any of this stuff.
Dennis seemed to have the perfect film career as a child star, kicking it off with James Cagney and wrapping it up with Walt Disney. Here's my interview with Dennis Rush.
Now, I've heard you tell a great story, so I'm going to ask you to tell it again. Barney's physical. So this is the episode where Barney's got to take a physical, and he's not tall enough or heavy enough to meet the new standards for deputy sheriffs. So now he's going to stretch himself in the tailor's closet. And so Opie comes up with a scheme to make a little extra money, right?
You got it. So Ron always had a way. But we're rehearsing the scene. So it's Keith and Ron and myself and the director, just the four of us. And we had such a good time with each other. And I think we respected each other that we could really rapid fire our lines real fast. Boy, one right on top. And the director was always very careful about, okay, now don't step on each other's line, but don't have a gap. So it was really a real dance. Okay, boom, 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 boom. And so we're rehearsing, and for the life of me, I don't remember what the real line was, but it was Keith, Ron, Dennis, Keith, Ron, Dennis, and I just drew a blank, and I said, well, he's hanging himself in your closet. And the director, his head spun around like it was The Exorcist. Ron and Keith both do a double take of, what did you just say? And I don't know, but I forgot my line, but I know it was my turn to talk. And they go, wait, that's better than the real line. So we put it in there. It worked. I can still see the hesitation. I saw the episode not but a few weeks ago, and there's just that little hesitation where I go, oh, this is Dennis talking, not Howie talking.
He is too. He is not. He is too. He is not. Why don't you go in there and ask him if he's hanging himself?
I'm not going to go in and ask him if
He's hanging himself in your house.
Hey, you kids, get on out of here! What's the matter with you? Didn't you ever see a person with his head in a harness before?
Now, if I can, to follow that now, 50 years, 45 years later, we're back at Mayberry Days. This is our first trip back for Keith and I. And they take us to a very nice dinner, and it's in the Andy Griffith Museum. And Dixie Griffith there, and Dick Atkins, the really nice director. And it's only about 20 people. And they take us on a little private tour. And we go back into the jail cell area, and there's a script opened up. And Keith sees it first, and his jaw just drops. He goes, Dennis, you won't believe it. We open that script from Barney's Physical is opened to the exact page of where the dialogue is. And there is the script director. She has crossed off my line and has handwritten the line in. So never got a writer's credit for it. But that's, again, and you said it early on, you followed scripts. And there was no ad-libbing, at least from my part, on that show. And, it was not anywhere near the Robin Williams days where, just let the guy go for three pages. No, we followed the script, and there was timing. It was always timing. You got 22 minutes to get the show going, develop, finish, throw a few commercials in, and that's the story.
Yep. And I saw some of that in one of my dad's scripts from Mountain Wedding, where he's, playing Dud Wash. And there's the famous bit that he does talking about, talking about Ernest T. I'll show him a couple of things I learned in guerrilla warfare.
He twists his neck and pulls his head around.
Yeah. And that dialogue was definitely played with on set. They changed some things around. And so there's a lot of marking up on that particular script page.
Well, and again, I think you trust adults a little bit more than kids to change lines. Right. So we didn't earn our chops yet.
So then the next, the one I have is Barney Fife Realtor. That was one we kind of talked about where you were Howie Williams.
Right.
and a couple of good scenes there, some good dialogue. And then the last one, Opie's newspaper, which is one of my favorites, where you guys are reporting on gossip and all that. Any particular memories from either of those episodes?
Well, from both. The Barney Fife Realtor was a nice circle episode, because in the beginning, Opie's trying to sell me a bad bike, and Andy makes Opie tell the truth about the bike, and the inner tube is bad and the spokes, and so Opie gets a little bit irritated with Pa, and then we circle it around, and now
you got a little irritated with Opie trying to.
Hey, I'm not. I wouldn't buy that for a nickel, or I wouldn't take that for free, or whatever the closing line was. Yeah, I got to get a little snippy there, but then in the middle, Barney brings the couple over to see the house, and then Opie is telling Dad, "Oh well, hey, the ceiling's cracked, and the pipes aren't working." And now Andy gets a little bit irritated with Opie. And then you finish it up with, in my house, I'm floating the boat in the basement, and hey, Dad, and that's where it got so odd when we're reading through the script that first time, because here it is, my dad is introducing me to Andy, and wait, we've just had 7 fun times together. Why is my dad introducing me? And so Andy had to kind of modify that line. Oh no. I've known Howie for years, something like that. But it was.
I think he says, we know Howie, yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of odd on that one. And then the last episode, it really, I didn't know it was the last one, but hey, the phone stopped ringing, and I started to outgrow Ron. I was always 2 years older than him. I think it started to show, and I think it was time for some new faces to come in. But that was fun. Yeah, we got to dig up the dirt on the neighborhood, and it was, again, one of the few, and I'm looking over my shoulder because I just got an envelope from a young man. Would I please sign this picture? And it's the picture of that episode, and it's the only picture I have with Aunt B, and it's with Don Knotts, Andy, Opie. So it's the whole group. And again, pictures at that time, we all didn't have cell phones, so pictures for me are a rarity. So my mom did a wonderful job of collecting whatever she could through all the time, and it's one of my most cherished possessions.
And we didn't make any of it up. It was all the things that people really said.
Well, just because somebody said something doesn't mean it has to be printed. You don't circulate stories that are mean and unkind about people. There are too many other stories to put in, nice stories.
But, Paul, when we put in the nice kind of stories, nobody wanted to buy the paper.
So you've become a regular now at the Mayberry events. I know, like most cast members, I think they kind of put it off, thinking, why would they be interested? And then you started doing it. It sounds like you really enjoyed it.
Oh my gosh, and it was. My biggest fear was, I'm going to go back here. I'm an adult. I'm going to stand in a corner, and people are going to, who is he? What is he doing here? And she goes, you just don't understand. And she called 3 years in a row, and I kept politely turning her down. And she said, since you're turning me down, expect a phone call from somebody else in about a half hour. Well, a half hour later, little Ricky, Keith Thibodeau, calls me from Mississippi. And he goes, Dennis, who is this lady calling us? I go, Keith, I have no idea. Is she trying to sell us land or something? And we both said, look, let's go. And it was, again, this was my 7th year, because we lost the 1 year, 8 year to that nasty bug. And but Keith and I, the first year, we both, just by coincidence, we meet at the airport, we ride up together, we bored our poor ladies to death with all of our stories, because it took us about 2 minutes to get going. And I have the 26 Mayberry calendar, and it's there. The dates are already there. I would not think of missing this thing.
Well, yeah. I mean, the whole experience and meeting the fans and everything is what inspired my brother Stark to write the Mayberry Man movie, which is inspired by his first trip to Mayberry Days. I went the second year with him and did that, and it was a blast.
It's just, I can only use a family reunion as what this really is. It's just people you haven't seen, And again, we were all amazed this year. When we get together as a little group and we're having a cup of coffee or, a late night, sit around by the campfire, the amount of new people. And to me, I'm going, thing's been going on, 36 years this year? And again, I love the tribute artists. They're not caricatures. Sure. They're not trying to be that person, but what they're doing is just building this Mayberry spirit. And from Alan, who is just the gentleman of all gentlemen, and Eric Lowry, I thought in Mayberry Man, I thought he stole the show in the beginning. He was just
did an
the
amazing
judge.
Job. Yeah.
He just, I'm not an actor. And we talked that year after you made it, but it hadn't been released. And we were at Mayberry Days. So I'm going, okay, guys, what did you think? And they go, God, we had no idea. And we're at lunch and, camera angles. And we had to learn so much beyond dialogue. And you guys with the blooper reel, oh my God. Alan is a good sport, but son of a gun, I fell down and I remember so many of my bloopers, and somebody said, and I think it was Alan going, oh God, at least we weren't wasting film, because I know I wasted a lot of film. But we were doing a Walt Disney movie, and 4 kids all had to run from different directions and jump on top of an old cannon and then deliver the lines. Well, the poor director, after 45 takes, he was pulling out what little hair he had left, and around the corner comes a gentleman, all dressed, light blue slacks, light blue alpaca sweater, and it's Mr. Disney. And he would always walk around just like Grandpa. He wanted to see what was going on his shows. Well, you see him walk over to the director, and the 4 of us kids, we got together going, oh, we're in trouble. Mr. Disney walks over, sits us down. Guys, having a tough afternoon? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He goes, do it one time for me. Well, how many more times did we do it? One time. It just, the magic of Mr. Disney, Mr. Griffith. These guys just knew how to talk to you and how to get it from you.
Now, was that your last film, Follow Me Boys?
It was not. It was in the movie. It was a 4-part Walt Disney Wonderful World of Color called Kilroy. That was the second to the last. And then like a year later, I got to be on my swan song. That was Follow Me Boys with Fred McMurray and Kurt Russell.
Yeah, I was going to say 1966, Follow Me Boys is the last credit I see on your IMDb. So that sounds like that is was the
close. See, that was, boy, you used to go for a Disney part, and you would, they were called cattle calls. And you would go in for a part, and you would be with 500 other kids. And it was just bringing you in 30 or 40 at a time. And the directors, assistant directors, writer, it was just yes, yes, no, maybe, yes, yes, not even talking to you because they knew what they were looking for.
Right.
Then when they narrowed it down, then it was, okay, let's see if you can talk. Okay, we moved through the second phase. But yeah, to get into a Walt Disney movie was a real hurdle, and it was a real honor if you did get it.
So, as I said, Follow Me Boys was your last credit. You probably did a close to 100 jobs, right? Films, TV, commercials, things like that. Yeah. Was there a moment when you realized it was, time to retire? Was that a choice? How did you arrive?
Well, it was a combination. The phone stopped ringing, to be very honest. And, if you're a teenager, that is a tough time in Hollywood because for, child labor laws, why not hire the 21-year-old that can play a 16-year-old? And you were always playing parts a few years older anyway for the maturity factor. But the idea of, hey, we don't have to pay the school teacher on set. We're not limited by this child actor has to be in school for 3 hours, 1 hour lunch. So we only have 4 hours to work with them where, hey, get the young looking adult. And there's where Ron was fortunate enough. Come on, for him to go back and do Happy Days as a high school kid. Well, he's an adult there. And the kids that made the transition in my time, it was Ron and it was Jodie Foster, and they made that leap and very few others. And once in a while you'd see, oh, hey, they made the leap. I just finished up high school. and I was playing baseball. So that was a majority of my interest. And graduated from high school, getting ready for college. Well, I decided to go in the Marines. I go in the Marines, I come out, I'm in college, and never gave it a thought. I could no more imagine memorizing a script or going in for an audition and having to, fight for a part, to pay the mortgage, when it was like my time, starting with Jimmy Cagney, finishing with Walt Disney, throw Andy Griffith and Lucy in the middle for a good, just put a red ribbon on this box. I had a perfect child acting time.
So Ron Howard and Clint Howard wrote the book The Boys, which you get a mention in, but he talked about that sort of that dark period of mid-teen, late teens where the phone stops ringing, and he experienced it too, because for the exact reason you described. It's like we can get an 18-year-old to play a 16-year-old. We don't need to hire a 16-year-old. So that was a common experience. And then I think he kind of broke out of that thanks to Happy Days, which kind of was the American Graffiti, right? That
American Graffiti, growing up. But you mentioned the book, and if I can, a quick one. We're at the Mayberry Days out at getting ready for the big parade, so we're all in the bank parking lot, and Clint comes over, and now we've shared a couple stories back and forth, but he goes, "Hey, my brother and I, we've just finished this book. We'd like you to have a copy of it." And I go, "Whoa, that's an honor." And he says, "Now promise you'll start reading it on the way home, on the flight home." I go, "Sure." So I'm flipping through the pages on the flight home, and somewhere around page 91, 92, I had let out with a O, and what I said, I'm sure I can't use. And people on the plane look at me and oh my Lord. Now he's describing the first episode that we did, that Andy Discovers America. And he said, now, again, I worked with bratty kids. Ron was not. I think he was just excited about having kids on the set with him. And so he might have been a little bit more animated, but his dad and the director take him aside and say, "Hey, Ron, you're not hitting your lines. You're not hitting your marks. You're not giving it 100%. And you're not even the best kid actor on set today. That Dennis Rush, he's pulling it." Oh my Lord, of all the things that Ron has remembered of his wonderful stories that he's made, why would he remember this? And I go, I can never see the guy again. And I got a note to Clint later on. I said, "Thank you so much for the book, but would you please tell Ron I'm sorry?" But it was a wonderful time, and I've got the book right behind me, and it's tattered and torn. I've gone through it and shown so many people.
Ron tells a story about when he was working on the Andy Griffith Show, and one season, basically, he was always a big baseball fan, and he tells a story about the year Sandy Koufax and Don Drysdale were holding out in spring training for more money.
Remember
and then
well.
When they did sign, I guess, and it was announced how much money they got, he realized he was making more than his heroes, his sports heroes. Now, being a regular on a series was one thing, but I was just curious. Do you remember what your day rate was back, when you were a child actor?
Absolutely. No, on a day rate, it was like $125, and for a week it was $350. And you talked about $1 million. That was $1 million at that time. That was just ridiculous. My friends had 50-cent an hour paper routes, and it was just, but it was there, but it wasn't something you were thinking about. I remember my mom handing me a $100 U.S. savings bond. Okay, put this in your bottom drawer. Well, I long lost that thing. I have no idea. But no, the money, and again, the money today, and gosh, when I see the young man on 2.5 Men making $350,000 an episode, I go, oh, was I in the wrong time? But it was ridiculously good money at the time. My dad, I was making more money than my dad. So, I mean, I know the reality of it, and he had 8 kids. So when we went on a little vacation and, we added a swimming pool, I knew we were all chipping in. So, yeah.
Well, Dennis, I want to thank you for this time.
Court, it was totally my pleasure. Good talking with you. Stay well. Travel safely.
All right. Well, I can't hear you. Are you muted?
There I am. Yeah,
Oh.
man, that was absolutely awesome. Thank you so much. And all the stuff you did in there with the clips from the movies. Wow, that just even adds to the whole story. So
I was fortunate to be able to find a couple of those things. It's
that was great.
you never know what's lurking on YouTube, and to be able to find the cannon scene,
That
you know,
was,
from
yeah, I have never seen that. So that was like, oh, wow, there's the scene. I've heard him tell the story, but I'd never seen the actual
yeah.
clip before. So, wow, how great. I did want to say too that I think didn't he say it's $150 that he made?
Well, 125, I think he said, 350 a week.
So that's $1,300 in today's dollar, about $1,300 in today's dollar. That's what I was looking up to see.
Well, I wanted to just make sure people understood. You know, we Mayberry Man, we are purists. We pay our actors what they paid their actors on the Andy Griffith Show.
There you go. That's
It's
exactly
about 125 a day. So don't be getting any ideas, Alan, about this
I'm definitely not.
episode.
But you know, that was good money though then. I mean, if you think about it, because the 350 would have been about $3,700 now. So I mean, as a young person, especially, my goodness, that's a lot. You know, I used to mow a graveyard. It took me all week to mow, and I only got $60. You know, so it wasn't in 63 either. That was about 80.
So yeah, he was very generous with his time and answering all my silly questions. But yeah, it's great to get, you know, his perspective on the Andy Griffith Show, his experience there, coming and going on multiple episodes, right? So he was kind of around enough to understand what, you know, the culture and get to know people, but at the same time, he kind of had an outsider's perspective. So I think it's a unique perspective, which is great. And the fact that he actually, it's a rarity that he had this perfect child actor career with no issues.
It is amazing. Yeah. That he made it. I mean, like he said, James Cagney to Walt Disney with all the Andy and Lucy and Gunsmoke and Wagon Train, all those things in between. Wow. What memories he has. Just amazing.
Yeah. And I found that clip from Follow Me Boys after talking to him. And had I had it beforehand, I would have asked him, you know, what it was like shooting that machine gun. Cause it looked like, you know, it was like shooting, you know.
From inside a bunker. They looked like they were kind of inside there.
But
that is awesome.
In that video I found, it was like kind of a behind the scenes about that film. And it sounded like all those big smoke, you know, bombs and things. I think that was flour.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah.
It was very white smoke.
It was. But I think, yeah, like you were saying, you know, he was talking about his time on the Andy Griffith Show. He's talked about that before, just how good it was and how the set was just amazing. There's an article that just came out this week, actually earlier this week, by Ed Gross, where he was talking to Margaret Carey. Now she played Bess Muggins. She's in the Christmas episode. She's the mother for everybody. Then she talks about in her whole career, which she has been working for 90 years. She started when she was 6 and she's 96 now. Her 90-year career. She says in that article, her favorite was the Andy Griffith Show, and she was only on 2 episodes, but she said that set was just a wonderful experience. So it's so nice to hear our folks that like Dennis and Margaret that, like you said, were guests and came in from and done so many things over their career and still say that set was special. So
yep. So I want to do just circle back on the whole season 2 crowdfunding thing. As I mentioned, we now have supportmayberryman.com as our fundraising website, the Indiegogo experience. And as you know, there's this picture from my father in a movie called Slaughter's Big Ripoff with Jim Brown. the former football player. And this was the meme I created. It was Indiegogo's new website design did everything they could to choke out our campaign, but we did make it. We made our goal. And but then it went into this like 15-day moratorium where nothing was happening. So we went ahead and like opened up our own website so you could still grab, a perk if you missed out or if you had problems. A lot of people like wanted to use American Express or they just couldn't log in. Like they couldn't figure out the website. The website's a mess. Trust me. It's been even worse for us on the other side.
Oh, wow.
So anyway, we wanted to make sure you had the opportunity, but it's winding down. Deadline coming up Sunday, December 7th. And basically you'll see all of these backer levels close that have any effect on production. So basically the Otis and Floyd packages and higher, because those all affect production, we got to do pre-production and we can't be adding people later.
Right.
So if you are considering doing anything where you're being an extra on set or want a speaking role or be a featured extra, even a remote get your voice or face in the show, now's the time to get in there and do that. I'm in the process of sort of, inventorying who's on the roster here, and I may shut down these sooner if I discover we've got too many people in a particular level. So consider yourself warned. But the Indiegogo thing, Alan, it's just so weird. Now after the 15 days, you're supposed to launch something called Pledge Manager. Yeah. I'm like, okay, it kind of sounds like helpful, I guess, to manage the pledges. And I don't know why it's something different, but it's a new phase. And then I discovered you actually have to create like a new campaign and resubmit it. Now I didn't think it, so I submitted it today.
Yeah.
Because now it's open, I can do that. But now it's got to be approved.
Huh.
I don't know what that's about. I really don't know what's going to happen when they do approve it. It might open those pledges back up on their website. It's really unclear to me what happens, but
wow.
Anyway, we don't have to worry about that because we have support mayberryman.com.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So yeah, that's I really all the work you've done getting choked out by by Indiegogo. We really appreciate all that you've done. It is I know it's been hard, and it was hard for some of the people trying to donate or to support the effort. I know that was hard. Sometimes even just getting logged in or whatever you had to do was difficult. So the new site is very easy. So hopefully it will help.
So one of the things I did, you'll notice our total currently raised is actually lower than what was on Indiegogo. At this point, I figured for accuracy, I went ahead and backed out the fees. These are the actual funds we're, factored in the funds we're receiving from Indiegogo. Right. And we have had some additional contributions. So that's a more accurate number of what we actually have to work with. We still want to get to 200,000 because believe me, we'll spend every penny.
Oh yeah. Well, there's all kinds of expenses everybody doesn't even think about. We've got to film it. But then we also have to produce it as far as like edit it and put the music in and all those kind of things too. Those all cost, there's dollars involved in all that.
There's cheap ways to do things, and then there's the right way to do it. And I suppose if we had to, we could do some of these things the cheap way. It's a little more labor intensive, do it yourself kind of stuff. It's like having, repairing your plumbing. You can do it yourself, but you may not be happy with the result.
That's right. You may break more than you fix, and plus you're going to go to Lowe's or Home Depot like 6 times at least. So this is not it's not a good way to do it.
And in this business, in the film and television business, they actually have a process. Once you're all done, you then submit your finished product, the master, whether it's to a distributor or to platforms, and there's a quality control process, a QC process, and they may discover issues, technical issues in your master, and now you've got to go back into post-production and editing and have those things fixed. That happened to us on the movie. I think we spent another $5,000 just fixing things at the distribution stage. So, yeah, we want to avoid that kind of stuff and get things done right the first time. It's not to say we couldn't get lucky, but we don't want to do this just trying to get lucky.
So what you're saying is you don't want me to have to edit the video. Is what you're really saying.
All hands on deck. The good news is, I thought this was kind of impressive that all the credit cards, everything on Indiegogo cleared eventually.
Oh, good.
Initially, we had a bunch of declines, but everything got resolved except for one. I'm not sure what the story is on that one. It was only a $20 backer, but I was surprised. And if you were one of the ones that had to like mess with that because your card didn't get processed, thank you for taking the extra effort and clearing that up. It was about a dozen people, so it wasn't too bad, but it's just more hassle that our backers had to go through, which I did not appreciate from Indiegogo. Yeah. Let's see what else. Some people have asked about upgrading, like they're at a certain level, but needed more time because they wanted to maybe upgrade from a featured extra to a speaking role or something like that. December 7th really is the deadline for that stuff because your backer level determines what kind of role we assign to you. Some of those levels are guaranteed multiple scenes, things like that. And so we just have to know who's on the team, what your role is, so that we can really finalize the script and get it dialed in.
And if they want to do the upgrades, they would have to contact you. Is that correct? If they
they need to email me directly, court@mayberryman.com.
Yes.
Which everybody, I mean, you can contact me through Indiegogo as well. It all gets to me, but there it is, court@mayberryman.com.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. So I mentioned the stretch budget. We're trying to get to 200,000. That's there. And if we don't reach that stretch goal, like I've been working on the budget. I actually had when I was in California last week and seeing my kids primarily, but I met with Tom Milo, who was he wants to be a part of this, which is great.
Oh, that's great. That is great.
But that's an expense that we got to get them here and put them up and all that. But Tom's all in, and we're excited to have him involved. But we're going through the budget and everything, and it's just really tight. It's so if we don't get to that $200,000 stretch budget, stretch goal, we'll probably have to carve a few things back out of the budget that we've kind of put in since then. But real quick on rewards, as I told people, once we kind of got the money out of Indiegogo and everything seemed like the dust had settled and everything was finalized, we would ship out those shooting scripts for the people that got shooting scripts from the movie in season 1. I should be able to get on that next week because it looks like, well, here's another, Alan, here's another fun tidbit. Indiegogo did distribute money to us. They just sent it to the wrong bank account.
Oh, no. How did that even happen?
At least it was one of our bank accounts, but
okay, good. At least it was not just, it wasn't my
a random bank account.
Yeah, it was somebody else's. Okay.
But when we launched this campaign, I went through and I changed over all the information from Mayberry Man 2, which is its own thing, to Mayberry Man, the original Mayberry Man. And they distributed it to the old settings, because when they transferred their whole website over, obviously they copied the wrong information. So anyway, not a big deal, but just one more thing I got to deal with and deal with the accountant and all that.
So how did that feel when they said, "Oh yeah, we've sent you the money," and it was not there? How did that feel?
Well, they said they were sending it on Thursday, and I didn't see anything till Monday pending. So that was a little,
That
like
that would make me a little nervous.
Apollo 13 moment, waiting
Yeah.
to see if it's really going to show up. And then I'm like, oh, great, it showed up in the wrong account. Yeah. So yeah, and then the other thing we're going to do, if you're participating on set, there will be paperwork, and we're going to need to get all that cleared in advance. So, as we start to ramp things up, obviously we're not going to do a whole lot during the holidays, but as we start to ramp things up, just be mindful that when we're trying to reach out and get you to complete, questionnaires and documentation and stuff, we got to get that in so that we're not messing with that when we get to the actual production shooting. And so the first step, if you're an extra or any of these roles that involve you being in the show, the first step's going to be asking you to submit like photo, video of yourself, so we can get to know who you are. I know I've said this before, but that's the first step.
Sure.
I haven't started it. I want to come up with the easiest way to do that for you. And so I'm looking at some different approaches, because having people upload to Google Drive is problematic. Having someone upload a video to YouTube and send a link, that's beyond a lot of people's technical know-how. So I'm trying to come up with the simplest way to do it.
Yeah.
And this is what we've done it before, but it's always tricky. What Alan, let me get your opinion. What do you think is the easiest way to get someone get a video from somebody?
Well, the easiest one, at least I've seen from most people seem to be able to do it, is using something like WeTransfer. They seem to be able to. Usually that's not difficult. It's basically just uploading a file and sending the link to the person. And it seems to, I've had people that I thought weren't very computer literate were able to do that fairly easily. So
now, I think our audience tends to be older, so we do a lot of things on a computer, but a lot of people just live by the cell phone.
That's true.
I've never tried WeTransfer with a cell phone. Like if you had a video on your cell phone.
I don't know that I have either. I have not tried that. I have not.
So I might test that.
Huh.
Shooting schedule, we're very, seriously targeting the second half of June, like June 15th, 16th through the 30th, that range. It'll be 2 weeks of filming. It'll be probably 2 6-day weeks. If you're participating, you won't need to be there the whole time. A lot of this participation is, a day or two. It'll be in Danville, Indiana, as the primary filming location. And basically our so-called paid cast, working for minimum wage, our paid cast will be, is pretty much set, right? It's the people coming back. But we're not really going to be casting for paid roles. So if you're an actor or whatever, and you're like, when are you guys going to be casting? It's like, we're not really going to have casting that I know of. So there may be 1 or 2 roles, but
yeah, we can just have like David, he can just dress up as different people. Like
David Dameron,
David
bring his
Dameron.
mustache.
Yeah, exactly. When he did when he was doing his audition, if any of you guys saw the auditions, he did every role, which was pretty awesome.
I was going to see if I still have it here. No, I don't. But so that's the update on season 2. So I know some people are, antsy to get going. We've got a long road ahead of us here, and till June. We really want to get our ducks in a row with the script and make sure the story and the scripting is all really well done. And then, then we kind of get into more of the planning stages, because we can't start giving you specific roles or, days that we're going to need you there until we really figure out exactly what the shooting script is. So, so give us time, and certainly we're into the holidays, and, we're just going to keep going, and you can always reach out, court@mayberryman.com if you are wondering what's going on. Just also know, more technical fun, Alan, I can no longer get my court@mayberryman.com on my phone I now am limited to only on my computer for some
Oh
reason.
my goodness.
I don't understand it.
Oh me.
I need an IT.
You need an IT person. If only
Do you know anybody that has experience with
I was gonna say, if only
email?
you knew somebody that was actually had 30 something years of experience.
Maybe when we get done here, I'll have you troubleshoot. But that's it. So that full video of Dennis Rush, the Dennis Rush interview, is on the Mayberry Man channel on YouTube. And go check out the whole thing. It's probably, I think, a 47-minute.
It's very good. And again, all the clips and pictures and stuff, Court slips them in there. If you ever watch me when I interviewed Dennis, I'm too lazy to do all that good work that he did. I'm not a producer, but Court did a great job. So definitely go and check it out, because Dennis has got some amazing stories. If you haven't watched that whole thing, definitely. And if you've seen the clips here, I recommend you still watch the entire thing, because it's a great conversation, the whole thing to go through.
Yeah, we had a good time. And yeah, I didn't want to, make people sit through 47 minutes on a live.
Right.
But, give it to you in little bits, little appetizers.
Very good. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's what I got this week. Hopefully I'll be back next week with more original stuff to share. We could maybe play Blow Up.
Yeah, I love Blow Up. I love Blow Up. So it is Thanksgiving. So again, I'm thankful for all you guys that have been able to support us. Thanks. There's just in case, there's an article in the Weavers, the Weavers Department Store.com/newsletter. We got a newsletter, and there's an article. Last article in the newsletter is all about Mayberry Man. So you can go and check that out as well.
We haven't even had a chance to open it yet.
Yeah. So you can go and check that out. I've been trying to put the last couple of issues have had a article. I write the newsletter, just so everybody does. But the last two have had articles in there about Mayberry Man. So we're starting to roll that into the other wider Mayberry community of Andy Griffith Show fans, and trying to we've been around for a while now. It's 5 years we've been around with the movie and the series, and now season 2 of the series is going to be coming. So we're really trying to normalize the Mayberry experience across all of those things. So
yeah, we're not going away at this point.
No, we're not. We're not.
You're stuck with us. You're stuck with us as part of Mayberry lore.
That's exactly right. So there's so much in the Mayberry Man movie, guys, that we've got to, from my perspective as a fan of the Andy Griffith Show, we've got to go in and explore, because there's so many quotes and little bits of dialogue that were reminiscent or pulled almost directly from episodes of the Andy Griffith Show. And as fans of the Andy Griffith Show, wow, what a treat that is for me to go in there and try to figure them all out and to spot them. And I'm not that good at doing it. So, but you guys let me know when you see them, because there are a lot of things in there in the series too. So go and check them out.
Well, I'm looking forward to one day, opening up Amazon Prime or Tubi or one of these things and seeing Mayberry Man in the cult classics.
me too. I hope I live that long. Yes, if I can live long enough, maybe that'll happen. We'll see.
It's going to be a cult film. All right. Thanks for joining us, folks. And I too am thankful for all of our supporters and viewers, not just our financial contributors, because that's great too, but everybody that just tunes in and comments and likes and all that stuff. Oh, one last thing. I'll just give one more plug. If you're in Indianapolis, I'll be on, I think, 10 a.m. live show. I can't even remember what it's called, but on Wish TV. It's called like Lifestyle Live, I think is what it's called. And I'll be on there talking about Mayberry Man season 2. They really liked our little rags to riches story. So I'll be on there, and if I can find a clip of it, I'll share that next week.
That'll be great.
Just not too much. I don't want to get a copyright strike.
I understand that.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, listen, if you like that video, hit the like button. I get a blast out of watching this stuff. All available right here at Mayberry Man. There's going to be plenty more.
If you want more videos about The Andy Griffith Show, be sure to hit subscribe and click that little bell icon so you're notified whenever we post a new video. Thanks for watching.
Come on, baby.